Hello, and welcome to another episode of Transform Yourself. We are your hosts, Kacy and Tyler, and we use the 4 M's of fitness, mind shift, meal shift, micro habits, and muscle building to help you transform into the best version of yourself. Today's episode, we are going to talk all about protein. We're calling this episode Protein Power Hour because we are going to pretty much cover all things protein. The very first thing to cover is, what is protein?
It's meat.
Yeah, it is meat.
It's the best of the macros.
It is the macro that I ask my clients to prioritize.
It's the best one. Especially ribeye protein.
It wins with all within the macros.
What was your question? What is protein?
What is protein was the question.
It's amino acid. It's amino acids?
It is. Okay. It is. It's a chain of amino acids.
Is that where you're going with this?
I mean, a little bit. Yeah,
okay.
It's the building block of all the materials. Basically, it's the building block of your body. It builds your muscles. It maintains and repairs tissues, helps with metabolic processes. So it is essential to life. Protein is exactly that. It is made of amino acids, or a chain of amino acids. There are essential and non-essential amino acids, and that kind of brings us to why we need to eat protein and prioritize protein, because there are 20 amino acids, 11 of them your body makes, and 9 amino acids that your body does not make. And the amino acids your body does not make are considered the essential amino acids. And those are the ones that we need to prioritize so that we get them through our diet.
So how do you get them?
If you want all 9 essential amino acids, you can eat anything meat. So cow, chicken, fish, pig,
deer.
Yeah, eat any kind of meat and you're going to get all 9 essential amino acids. Immediately, it's all animal proteins will have all 9 essential amino acids. So
I was going to say, well, now what about your customers, your clients that are cannibals? Is human meat?
Oh God.
See, this is why. That's why I was backing off this question.
only if the human has eaten other animal sources, then I would say yes, that they would have. I would. Yeah.
Okay. Now so here's a rabbit hole.
Go ahead.
If your best friend Brandy's a vegan. I don't think she's always been a vegan.
She is not, but she's been a vegan for decades.
If someone ate her in an apocalyptic scenario, if someone ate her, is she an incomplete protein? Because that's an excellent, a slam, a joke. Like, oh, bro's an incomplete protein. Ow! Like,
so you're saying in an apocalyptic world, in a zombie world, we should not eat Brandy? So the vegans would survive, is what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? Because nobody would want to eat them.
Well, no, they wouldn't survive because in an apocalypse scenario, there's no Sprouts where you can go get whatever. And I can eat most animals. I can't eat most plants.
Okay, so
anyway, that's rabbit hole.
It was. We did talk a little bit about complete versus incomplete protein. So let's kind of dive into that and discuss what those are. A complete protein is exactly what I just said. It's any kind of animal. If it walks on legs, it's going to be a complete protein. So yes, I assume we would also be a complete protein.
Yeah, that was a dumb question.
It was. So you eat any meat source, cow, chicken, fish, pig, etc., deer, you're going to have all 9 essential amino acids that you need. There are some plants that are considered complete amino acids, such as soy. Quinoa is another one. But everything else, most plants are considered incomplete proteins. So that means they're just missing 1 or more of your essential amino acids. They might have 5, they might have 7. An example of incomplete protein might be beans or tortillas, whole grain breads, rice, broccoli is an incomplete protein.
So if I buy
anything with protein in it that is not.
So if you go to the grocery store and you pick up a box of cereal or whatever, you look through this nutritional facts. There's always like a gram or 2 of protein, and those would be incomplete proteins, I'm assuming.
Yeah, for the most part, I would assume yes. Yes.
I know that's a very vague question.
It is. Right. The great news about incomplete proteins is that you can combine them and make a complete protein. So this is why rice and beans is such a great meal, because you put rice and beans together and you're going to have a complete protein. Or put
I didn't know that.
Yeah, or put beans in a
Really?
tortilla. Yeah, really. Yes.
Okay,
this
so
is
what?
how
I've never heard this before.
Are you serious?
I didn't know this.
Wow. Okay. Well, it's good to learn something new.
Because
you
I
put
don't consider-
beans inside
I
a
don't-
tortilla and you're going to get a complete protein. This is how do you think vegans and vegetarians get all 9 essential amino acids, Tyler? They do that through
don't know.
creating a balanced meal.
That's a problem they have. That's not my problem.
Okay.
And I don't care to know.
Okay, well,
That's not my issue.
so
What does that lady say?
The,
That's not. What does that girl say?
she says,
That's none of my business.
"Yeah, that's none of my business."
Yeah. How Brandy or how any vegan gets all the protein, that's none of my business.
That is how we, as vegans, and I don't mean we because I am not a vegan, but that is how vegans or vegetarians will get their complete proteins.
So
through combining the incomplete proteins. So if you need to, go give it a goog, and you can see a chart full of different combinations of
I had no
plant
idea.
vegetables that can create a complete protein. There you go. Now you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I learned something today too. I didn't know that.
There you go. So why should we prioritize our protein? Let me back up here real quick. Protein is one of our 3 macros. You have protein, carbs, and fats. I ask my clients to prioritize protein. Any good nutrition coach is going to ask you to prioritize protein. If they don't, fire them. Protein, it is 4 calories per gram. Carbs also are 4 calories per gram. Fats are 9 calories per gram. But your protein is going to help you build muscle. And when you build muscle, it will then help you burn fat. That is what a majority of my clients' goals are, is to burn fat. Protein is going to help you boost your metabolism, and it does that through thermic effect of food. So let's talk a little bit about that. Okay, so protein has the highest thermic effect of food over the other macros, fats and carbs. What that is it's basically the calories that you burn through the process of digestion and the metabolic process of digestion. The thermic effect of protein is about 20 to 35%, whereas the thermic effect of carbs is only around, I think, 10 to 15%, and fats is a 0 to 5%. So what that basically means, 20 to 30% of the protein that you are eating the calories are going to be burned basically through the digestion of the protein source you just ate. How great is that? Break that down. You eat 100 calories of lean chicken breast, and 25% of that is automatically burned through digestion. So 25 calories of that is, bam, burned through digestion.
Mm-hmm. It's, I guess, easier to digest. Is that maybe not even is that a good way to look at it?
There is a better way to look at it. The higher the thermic effect of food, the less efficient the process of digestion is. Protein actually has a less efficient process of digestion, which is why you're burning more calories, because you have to use more energy to metabolize that food.
That's interesting.
So fats, it actually is a more efficient process in digestion. Your body efficiently digests and metabolizes a fat, whereas your body does not efficiently do that with a protein. And because of that, it takes more energy. Energy is calories, and more heat is generated in the process. Therefore, you are burning more calories through eating protein.
But you have to have protein.
Correct.
You have to deal with whatever that inefficiency is, because you can't survive because it's needed in every cell of your body.
Conclusion, eat more protein.
Yeah. I guess in theory, you could live a horrible life, never eating a carb or never eating fat, and just doing vice versa the other. In theory.
In theory.
I'm not advocating. I'm saying
in theory.
But you have to have protein.
Yes.
Or else you're not going to live.
It is essential for life. Yeah. Protein, for sure. How do I calculate my protein goal is a question that I get daily. There is a protein goal calculator directly on my website at thecaloriedeficitqueen.com under Getting Started. You can find that at the top. Or if you'd like to, you can just take your goal weight, whatever your goal weight is, you can multiply it by 0.7, or you can multiply it by 1. So 0.7 would be my low range. 1 would be my high range. And let's say, for an example, your goal weight is 150 pounds. If your goal weight is 150 pounds, you multiply that by 0.7, you're going to get 105. So your low range of protein, your low range protein goal would be 105 grams of protein per day. 150 times 1 gives you 150. So your high range would be 150 grams of protein. Now, does it matter if you go over your protein? No, it's not going to matter. Yes, people will argue too much protein is terrible for your kidneys.
Hasn't that all
Listen, unless you have some kidney issue already, if you have a pre-existing kidney problem, well then see your doctor about that, see your physician, talk to them about your protein intake. If you do not, don't worry about your protein intake affecting your kidneys.
Hasn't that been just totally
debunked?
Yeah, right?
Mostly, yes.
Okay. I'd assume it's like aspartame.
Yes.
And it's...
Yes.
Oh, well, yeah, it's true. In lab mice, when you mainline whey protein powder and they have 900 grams per day for 6 months straight, like, yeah, then their kidneys fail. But for the average person eating regular real food, it's probably not going to happen.
Right. So
unless you have obviously a real medical condition.
Yeah. And here's what I will tell you is when you calculate your protein goal and you use those parameters where you calculate your point, your goal weight times 0.7 or your goal weight times 1, and you have that range. And again, let's just use 150 pounds as your goal weight. Your range would be 105 grams of protein to 150 grams of protein. Don't stress out if you're brand new to trying to eat more protein. If you're brand new to trying to eat more protein and you only hit 85 grams of protein that first day, no big deal. Don't stress out about it. Work up towards eating more protein. Get yourself there. If your goal is fat loss, the number one priority, if your goal is fat loss, is to be in a calorie deficit. If you want to maintain muscle, feel fuller longer, yes, these are all great reasons we want to prioritize protein. But we're not aiming for perfection. I want you to aim for progress. And so that brings me to my next question. How can we get in more protein? How can I get in more protein but still lose weight? The first thing you need to do is look at how many meals are you eating every day? Are you eating a breakfast, lunch, and a dinner every day? Okay, great. If you're eating a breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day, then my suggestion would be to get in around 30 grams of protein for every meal, for those 3 meals. If you do that, you're already at 90. Most likely, you will probably end up eating snacks also throughout the day. Make sure that you're aiming for protein within your snacks. Easy to do. If you already have 90 because you have 30, you've aimed for 30 with each meal, then all you have to aim for is another 15 to eat to reach your low range goal. If you are aiming for 150 pounds, this is all just hypothetical, but these are things that you can do and little targets that you can aim for when you're creating your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner. It is true that still when I open the refrigerator and I am trying to create a lunch for the day, and you might have heard me say in videos, I like to assemble my meals. I don't like to cook my meals. We do a lot of meal prep on the weekends. You cook the chicken. A lot of times I will make ground beef and have that already done in the refrigerator. And the first thing I do when I make lunch is ask myself, what protein am I putting on my plate? And the second question is, what are the vegetables I'm adding to it? And then I decide the carb. But I start with protein. And I always start with protein. So how can we get in more protein? If you are under in your protein, you might think instead of adding 4 ounces of ground beef, I'm going to add 5 or 6 ounces of ground beef. Just add more of the protein source to your plate. Mm-hmm. That can be a very simple way of adding protein. Another way is grabbing high protein sources and adding them like egg whites. You can add egg whites to oatmeal and create protein, right? Isn't it fun when we start using protein in words like protein and pro nuts for donuts? No?
Did you say that earlier and I just missed it?
No.
Oh.
I just said it right now.
Okay. Well, I'm working really hard to think of one right now.
So egg whites are a great source of protein. They are very protein efficient. You can literally get about 30 grams of protein in around like 150, 180 calories of egg whites. So that is a protein efficient food. Chicken breasts, shrimp, protein yogurt. Grab some protein yogurts. Grab Greek yogurts at the grocery store. Most of your Greek yogurts are going to be high protein and low calorie. Those are great sources. What you don't want to do is grab peanut butter off the shelf and think that peanut butter is a high protein source. It is not a high protein source.
It's a fat source. It's
Yes.
delicious. It does not pass the mark for protein.
It does not. You would have to eat over 800 calories worth of peanut butter in order to get 30 grams of protein.
Which is
out
crazy.
of peanut butter. And the funny part is 800 calories worth of peanut butter. You might think, ooh, that's a lot of peanut. No, it's not. It's really not. You might get like
3 heaping spoons, right?
Yeah. You might get like 5 or 6 tablespoons for that many calories. Peanut butter, I'm sorry. If you think it's a source of protein, it's not. It's a great source of fat.
Yeah,
So,
the big peanut lobby has really pushed that agenda as far as we're going to let it go.
right. It's over Big Peanut.
Yeah, get out of here, Jimmy Carter.
So we also can use what I call the protein trick. And the protein trick, I'll do my best to describe it. It's a lot easier on paper than it is through a podcast, but follow me and then I'll give some examples. The protein trick is basically you're looking at a nutrition label and you're looking at 2 numbers. You're going to look at the calories and you're going to look at the protein. And you're going to tack a 0 onto the grams of protein and compare that to the calories. And when you tack the 0 onto the grams of protein, you want that number to be equal to or higher than the calories. So, having said all of that, let's take, for example, a Yoplait yogurt. This is not a Greek yogurt, just a Yoplait yogurt off the shelf. It is 150 calories for a small Yoplait yogurt, and it has 6 grams of protein. So I'm going to tack a 0 onto 6. I get 60. Compare 60 to 150 calories. 60 is much lower than 150, not a great source of protein. But take something like Oikos 000 yogurt. The Oikos 000, it's a Greek yogurt. It's 100 calories for a container, 17 grams of protein. I tack a 0 onto 17, you get 170. Compare 170 to the 100 calories, way higher. Fantastic source of protein. So that protein trick is a really great way to look and compare items.
Easily compare and contrast, especially if you're on a road trip and you're running
absolutely.
into
A Buc-ee's.
7-Eleven or a Buc-ee's, if you're fortunate enough to live, and travel near a Buc-ee's, to gauge, is this a good protein meal? And really, is it a good snack or not?
Right.
I feel like it's a good way to just say, is this a decent snack?
Yes.
Or should I just, go get jerky?
Right. And I will tell you, if you ever run into me in the airport, I can promise you there's going to be turkey jerky in my purse. Turkey jerky, I think, is my number 1 travel food. I don't normally buy it ever, but if I'm traveling, whether it's a road trip or it's a airplane trip or whatever it is, if I travel, I'm like, ooh, turkey jerky time. So somehow I've made that my special travel food and it works out great. It's easy to carry. It doesn't go bad.
It checks all the boxes.
It does check all the boxes. I will say, don't fall for the marketing geniuses that are out there will put the word protein, large letters, on the front of their box of food, and they will
like cereal bars.
Yes, cereal bars.
I saw some yesterday at HEB. You walk by and goes, high protein. You flip it around and it's the macros of a Snickers bar, essentially. Right. You realize they're duping all of us dopes, me included. I've been duped before.
Right.
And you think like, oh, this is a great protein option. This is a great little snack. It's like, no, they just made the protein in giant yellow letters.
Right. It is true. It's true. And you can look in a grocery store and you can see a box of waffles and there's like blueberry waffles right there. But then right next to it, there's this box that says high protein blueberry waffles, just like you said, like big yellow letters with the word protein. But you turn it around, you look at the back and it has like 240 calories, only 10 grams of protein. You tack a 0 on to the 10, you get 100, compare it to 240. Not a good source of protein. I don't know where they're thinking this is a good source of protein. Also,
They're not.
it's right.
It's what you said 5 minutes ago. It's marketing. They know protein's a big deal. People are looking to add more protein. So we're just going to say, hey, this has got protein in it. And it does. They're not lying, but they're just highlighting something that it's not
and
really.
Real quick, shame on General Mills. Shame on them because they create, brilliant though. They created Cheerios.
I was just
with
thinking about the protein
big
Cheerios.
Protein. I'm showing my husband right now a picture
What's the difference
of Cheerios?
Of protein
I want you
Cheerios
to
and
know-
regular basic B Cheerio.
The box of protein Cheerios, it's comical almost because the word protein is almost as big as the word Cheerios on the front of the box. And on the front of the box, notice it says 11 grams of protein. But can you read what it says underneath 11 grams of protein?
With milk.
With milk. Yeah.
So it's not even in the box.
It's not. No, right. So it says 11 grams of protein, but that's 11 grams of protein with milk because the milk adds protein. So it's comical. But people probably buy this Cheerios thinking,
100%.
"Ooh, I'm going to
look
eat."
Look at the packaging. It's beautiful. It's got a sunburst in the background.
It does. It looks like
Oats and
life
honey.
is just going to be
Like-
the best thing ever if you buy this box of Cheerios. It makes me want to really eat some right now. It
they're
does.
probably-
It looks delicious. Really,
They probably are really tasty.
I'm sure it is. I'm
Honey
sure it's
Nut
good.
Cheerios are legit.
It's so good. But let's look at the macros real quick. So the calories on that protein without the milk, because they have it without the milk and with the milk. Without the milk, the calories 210. The protein is 7 grams. Now, do the protein trick. You've got tack a 0 onto 7, compare it to 210, not a good source of protein. But here's the funny part. So then you take regular Cheerios. I'm not talking Honey Nut. I'm just talking regular Cheerios, the Cheerios we feed our kids.
Yeah.
It's 140 calories with 5 grams of protein. Literally, the protein per calorie ratio for regular Cheerios is better
Because
than the
it's so
protein
much
to
lower
calorie
calories.
ratio. Yes, because it's so much lower calories. It's better than the protein calorie ratio on the protein Cheerios.
Is it 70 less calories per cup? Is that what that
I have to
says?
look at
Or
that.
whatever
Yeah.
their serving size is. It's marketing.
It is.
It's marketing.
It's all marketing. If you're in a grocery store and you're looking, please make sure you turn the box over. Make sure you turn whatever over. Look at the label. Make that decision yourself. Now, I do want to also put a little disclaimer in this. I am not telling you or any of my clients to eat only things that meet the requirement of that protein trick. Do not feel like that is the case. That protein trick is great for when you are comparing products, like say you're in the yogurt aisle and you're comparing yogurts and which yogurt you'd like to buy. That's a great trick for that. Or you're looking for a protein bar because you need a snack. That's a great trick for that. Every food you eat does not have to meet that requirement to be a food that you should eat. If it is a food that you love, by all means, go for it. And I'm not saying any of these foods, again, I'm not saying they're bad.
Like protein Cheerios are not bad.
Yeah.
It's just
they look delicious.
understand what you're eating.
Right. That is it. Know what you're putting in your mouth.
That's fun.
And yeah, know that marketing, they are geniuses. A question I do get is about protein powders. I do use protein powders. Everybody knows I use Sweat Ethic and I love Sweat Ethic. I love it because most whey proteins, and Sweat Ethic is a whey protein, they're about 130 calories and you get 25 grams of protein. I mean, wow, what a great protein to calorie ratio. The thing is I don't necessarily like to drink my protein as much as I like to eat my protein. I like to eat food more so than drink calories. So I don't make protein shakes as much as you do. You make way more protein shakes.
I do almost
than
every day.
Yeah, you're almost a daily protein shake guy.
Mm-hmm.
I probably do a protein shake once or twice a week, and that's about it. I like to make food with my I do. How many times have you seen me make a protein pancake over the last week?
Literally every day.
Almost daily, right?
No, I mean, I think it has been literally every single day.
know. So I take my whey protein and I mix it with egg whites. 185 grams of egg whites. Here's a recipe for y'all. Write this one down, but not if you're driving. 185 grams of egg whites, 1 scoop of protein powder, half a teaspoon of baking powder, blend it up, pour it in a pan. But here's the trick, y'all. Cook it on like medium heat. Don't put that thing on high. Cook it on medium heat for 4 minutes one side, a couple minutes the other, and you're good to go. You've got a giant protein pancake. It's got like 45 grams of protein, and you get to eat your protein, and it tastes like a pancake, and I put berries on it and syrup, and it's sugar-free syrup, but I like to eat my protein. So I make it into food. I make it into protein donuts.
You cook with protein powder way more than you just slam a protein shake like I do.
Yes.
That's very true.
So,
and there's something to that because I did that today, and an hour later, your stomach is emptied.
Yes.
And I've ingested, however many calories it was, but I'm hungry. Versus if I had have ingested that many calories worth of steak meat.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have felt hungry.
Right. Other protein snacks that I like to eat lately, I've been buying the dried edamame beans I buy them off Amazon. I know some grocery stores carry them. Our local grocery store does not. So I buy them from Amazon, and it's like 100 calories per pack, 11 grams of protein. So great protein calorie ratio.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
They're very, very close to like a shelled pistachio.
Yeah.
Is a very good comparison.
Yeah, it's that salty crunch that I'm looking for. So it's a great snack. I will tell you that on Amazon, when you go look for dry roasted edamame on Amazon, you'll find that you can get them in little single packs, or you can get like this giant jug of them. I would love to buy the giant jug, but what would happen if I bought the giant jug?
You would eat the giant jug.
Right. So I don't, because I know that I'm not going to mindfully just portion exactly out 100 calories. No. So I have to buy the already pre-portioned edamame. It just helps me stay on track. I can grab one, go upstairs, work, do my thing. Turkey pepperoni is another example of a high protein snack that we keep in our refrigerator almost every week. It's a snack that my kids love. I love all kinds of protein yogurts. And don't forget, we can also keep things super simple. Deli meats are a great source of protein. I keep turkey and ham in our refrigerator all the time. I even sometimes pair it with a low-calorie, high-protein tortilla. And the two together make for a great snack, an easy grab-and-go snack.
What about cheese? What are your thoughts on cheese?
My thoughts on cheese.
Which I would say...
I personally don't snack on cheese.
It's probably dangerous because I would say it's probably close to a fat source, right?
Well, the reason is because to me, I like to eat volume foods. I like to eat a large amount of food because it helps keep me full, but also I like to prioritize protein because it helps keep me full. Cheese, I don't feel like is enough food to help keep me full. Now, if you love cheese and it does help keep you full, then yes, a low calorie or a skim milk type string cheese might be a great source for you. I kind of stray away from that, mostly because I like higher volume foods.
Okay.
But that would be the reason. I did talk a little bit about satiety. That is a great reason we want to eat protein. It helps keep you fuller longer, but it does that because of its inefficient process of metabolizing, because of its high thermic effect of food. That's why you are staying fuller longer, because it doesn't digest as fast. All right, now finally on to some protein FAQs, things that I get asked about protein that you might be thinking. Many times my clients will ask me, do I need to be concerned about protein timing? In other words, do I need to make sure that I eat protein within a 30-minute? I've heard I should eat protein within 30 minutes of waking up. I should eat protein within 30 minutes of coming back from the gym. Go on.
Did you see that? I sent you a video about this yesterday from Lane Norton.
I didn't see it.
Oh, well, he was basically...
I don't watch the videos you send me.
I know. This one was actually helpful and work related and not something...
Not trucks jumping over a cliff?
Yes.
Okay.
It was about protein timing and about a new, I think it was a meta-analysis that he was talking about, basically saying, by and large, it doesn't really make a difference.
Yeah. Here's what I'm going to tell you is protein timing should be left for athletes and bodybuilders. The reason protein timing is important for athletes and bodybuilders is because there's this one star of the show amino acid. Its name is lysine, and lysine is one of the amino acids in protein that will, let's see, I think it has like a 3-hour window of which it works really great for muscle protein synthesis, helping you build muscle. That's why bodybuilders will eat a source of complete protein every 3 hours. That's the reason, because they want to be the most optimized in their muscle protein synthesis. Again, my clients are not looking for that. My clients are looking for fat loss. So it doesn't matter when you eat your protein.
Or even if you're going for normal person muscle gain,
right?
It really doesn't make a difference.
Right. I don't try to do I don't try to do protein timing within my own diet. When you're looking at fat loss, it's, are you in a calorie deficit? And let's work on prioritizing protein so that all of the things can be true about, let's make sure that we're staying satisfied longer so that the diet that you're on can be sustainable, so that you are mitigating muscle loss. We want to keep our metabolism as high as possible through that process. Those are the reasons we want to eat protein. We don't want to worry so much. Don't get caught up in the details of timing and protein timing. Let that be a bodybuilder and athlete thing. Another question I get, when I make videos, you're going to see me in some of them weigh my protein on my scale after it's cooked. I get called out about it all the time. You should weigh your protein raw. It's much more accurate. And yes, totally correct. Weighing protein raw will give you a more accurate calorie count than weighing it cooked. So 4 ounces of raw chicken is going to be much more accurate in calorie count than 4 ounces of cooked chicken. However, I was super successful at losing 70 pounds, and I've been super successful at keeping weight off with measuring my protein cooked. It's not about, again,
it's about being consistent.
It's not about perfection. Let's not try to be so exact and so precise and so perfect with every little thing we do. Let's look at consistency. Are you consistently measuring your protein? Great. That means you're winning. You are measuring your protein. I still use my kitchen scale. I've probably used that kitchen scale every day for 3+ years. I use it as much as I use a spoon or a fork. I use it daily. It's there to remind me, okay, I'm trying to increase my protein. Great. I'm going to make sure I put 6 ounces of protein on my plate, and I measure it out. I may not measure everything that I eat out. And I've said this before, but I'll say it again. I don't eat in a calorie deficit. I eat at calorie maintenance. I'm not trying to lose weight. I'm not trying to gain weight. I am trying to maintain my weight. Being in maintenance doesn't mean I get to stop all of the habits that I had when I was losing weight. All of the habits that I had when I was losing weight have to mostly stay in place for me to be able to be successful at being in maintenance. So the walking, the water, all of those things, I know that I'm getting a little off track here with protein, but the habit of making sure that I'm consistent with measuring my protein and those kind of things need to stay in place. And that's one of the habits that I've kept, using my kitchen scale. Are you being consistent with measuring it? That is most important. And here's what I'll say. It is so much easier to make an entire giant batch of ground beef on Sunday, throw it in a airtight container, put it in the refrigerator, and measure it out as I assemble my meal.
The people who call you out for that, I would love to know
what their process looks like.
Do they cook every single meal raw?
I don't know. I don't know what they do, but it sounds like a nightmare to me. I don't want to do it.
It sounds like someone on the internet trying to be high and mighty over something that they don't even do.
I don't know. I want you to use the process that's easiest for you, because if it's easy, you're going to do it. And if you're going to do it, that means it's consistent. And if it's consistent, you'll see results. And that's it. That's all it's about. And the third question is, this is a good one. I think this is what the video was about that you sent me, now that I'm thinking about it. Or maybe there were 2 different videos you sent me. Doesn't matter. Anyways, The question is about your body can't metabolize any more than 30 grams of protein at a time.
That was also one of the things he talked about.
Oh my goodness. First of all, that has been debunked. Anybody's telling you that the excess protein over 30 grams is going to turn to fat, wrong. It is not going to turn to fat. Your body uses protein for more than just muscle protein synthesis. That's one thing. That's one metabolic process that your body uses protein for. And yes, for muscle, meaning building like Arnold Strong, yes, for that, you might use 30 grams of protein for that process. But you also need protein for other metabolic processes in your body. Your skin needs your protein, your hair, your nails, all of those things need protein. So your body is going to use all of the protein that you eat. Even if you eat 50 grams, if I eat 50 grams of protein in a meal, then yes, your body's going to use it. So,
because I want to say I've even heard, obviously this is anecdotal, and this is just me coming up with this off the top of my head. They've tried really hard to overfeed people in protein, and that's more challenging than they thought.
Right.
Like that the protein, like it just kind of, your body just absorbs it. And I don't know. Take that all with a grain of salt. I'm an idiot. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't think people get fat because they eat too much lean protein. We're doing a lot of other things wrong. It's not because I ate a half of a chicken breast too much last night.
Right. And I am not advocating a carnivore diet by any means with this podcast. Eat your carbs, eat your fats, eat all three macros in
I personally advocate.
No, you are not advocating that. And don't worry, y'all, I'm not letting him go on a carnivore diet. It's not happening.
I want everyone to comment on one of Kacy's videos. # Tyler does carnivore if you want me to do it. And I'll do a 30-day carnivore challenge.
No, please don't. I'm not dealing with that in my house.
I think it'd be kind of fun.
Not in this house. Okay.
Nothing but eggs and meat.
Oh God, sounds awful.
None of those toxic vegetables or whatever. Like I like Paul Saladino, but come on, man. Like that's kind of out there.
Paul Saladino, I don't know him.
Yeah, carnivore MD.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a whole other rabbit hole.
Or the Liver King.
You do not besmirch the name of the Liver King.
Come on, everybody knows the Liver King is.
I love the Liver King, but I find him entertaining. I find
okay.
He's from Houston.
He's roided up, right?
Yes. If anyone thought for a split second that he was not juiced out of his mind. Oh, okay. Speaking of which, can I go down a little bit of a rabbit hole about Liver King?
Go ahead.
So on a hunt I went, there was a girl who was one of the guides, and she has met him. She met him before he was a Liver King when he was Brian Johnson.
Okay.
So he got rich because I guess he's kind of in ranching. Yeah, that he was that way before he was in the internet too. Like
he was.
They're at a cattle auction, and they were ordering food at this big cattle auction, and he made a big to do about when they're cooking his steak, what oils they could use to cook. He didn't want canola. He wanted butter or animal protein or animal fat.
So he's been this. Okay. All right. So, maybe he's true to himself, I suppose. It's not for me. I love broccoli. Loves me. I love broccoli.
Broccoli's fine.
Broccoli's
great. I prefer meat though. Anyway, Liver King rant over. I did not think we would ever discuss the Liver King on any podcast we ever did. In fact, I'm gonna make a point every single episode to bring up
the Liver King. # Liver King.
Yeah, I like him.
Big conclusion, work on getting in your protein is just going to make everything easier. You know what? One point I didn't even bring up is when you eat higher protein, it actually helps reduce your sugar cravings, your carb cravings. The women that are my clients that have a barrier of that like late night sugar carb craving, when you start working towards eating a higher protein diet throughout the day, you will actually curb those sugar cravings because of the sugar spikes that you get. So there you go.
Okay.
A little fun fact about protein. Eat more protein. That's it. Conclusion. Eat more protein and be mindful of it. Prioritize it.
Peanut butter's not protein.
Period.
Can we get t-shirts that say that?
We should.
Because I feel like there's a lot of people who really die on that hill that peanut butter is a great protein? It's not.
I feel like peanut butter's had its day and it's not
You think it's
anymore.
moved on?
I think it's moved on. I
Did
think
did,
people
did did everyone ruin that when you couldn't send your kids to school with a peanut butter sandwich?
probably. All right.
You want me to close it?
Yeah.
So, everybody.
No. No. Absolutely not. We'll not have that. Try again.
Thank you for listening to our podcast today. I hope that you found this very informative, maybe even a little bit entertaining. So please like and subscribe. Thank you. This has been Tyler and Kacy.
Adios.